Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do the children's address and we're going to be looking at shining out for Jesus and being like stars. So I'm going to use one of my childhood favourite stories, Giraffes Can't Dance. And then once I read this, we're just going to talk a little bit about how we can shine out for Jesus. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, the rhinos rock and rolled, the lions danced a tango, which was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons did a Scottish reel. Gerald followed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they began to roar. "Look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all laughed. "Gerald, you can't dance, you silly fool." "Gerald, don't be daft." Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. I feel like such a clot." So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and alone. He found a little clearing and looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "Sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me the sweetest music is the branches in the breeze. Imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to." With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. He did a backwards somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. "I'm dancing, yes, I'm dancing, Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied and watched him, quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle, we must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer we've ever seen." "How is it you can dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twizzled round and finished with a bow. He raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We can all dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." So, whenever I was thinking about how what I could talk about with that story, I thought about how different Gerald was to the rest of the animals. And that reminded me of how God made each and every one of us so different from each other. Not one of us are the same, not one of us in the entire world are identical. He's given us all different talents and abilities, and each one of them are unique and different. Some things we're good at, some things we're bad at, but they're different to everybody else. So we can use our talents and our abilities because they're special, and we can use them to make an impact, just like Gerald did with his dancing. So I thought of some examples, and obviously everyone has different things that they're good at. So if you're sporty, you can make an impact in your team by shining out for them, being really nice, being really kind, building each other up, and maybe having a conversation about the Bible or about God to them. If you're musical, you can use your singing and instruments to play in church, play in GB, play in your Sunday school, play to your family members. Just really shine using that. And it's the same with whatever skill you have, whether you're a good people person, whether you can cook, whether you're good at fixing things. We can use these all to help other people and to shine out for Jesus and just make a difference and really help other people's lives. So what as well was important in the story was at the start Gerald didn't think he could do it, but as he got further on he could, and he got more confident. So maybe at the start, whenever we've got God, we're a bit nervous about putting ourselves out there and trying new things and really trying to help other people. But the more we continue with God and the more we have God in our hearts, he will help us to become more confident and to be able to take that step and help other people. So one of the other important things was in the story, the cricket really encouraged Gerald and told him he could do it. So whenever we have God in our hearts, he's kind of like that cricket. He's really encouraging us and spurring us on and telling us we can do it, but we can't do that alone. Gerald wouldn't have been able to do that on his own if he didn't have that encouragement. So we need God in our hearts to encourage us to do that. But at the same time, we can be like the cricket. We can encourage our friends, encourage our family, encourage our church members, and we can all encourage each other. And that's what the church family is there for, to all help out each other, especially in this time of need and this time of uncertainty, whenever we're all a little bit worried about what's going on. So just to finish off, let's all work on using our talents and abilities to help those around us. And let's really encourage one another and really keep God in the centre, because at the minute it's really hard. You know, we're off school, we don't really know how things are going to go, but if we just trust God, then we will be able to do that. And just really work on shining out for Jesus and shining like stars.